Alright, so in this video I'm going to be building some rock sliders for my Blazer here. So I've cut everything I can. So back here it used to kind of come out straight, but I cut it up at an angle like that to give me more, just to, because that wasn't needed and it was all rusted out anyways. So the frame on this does have quite a bit of surface rust, but underneath the surface rust it's good. So the whole frame's good. There's just a little bit of body rust. Most of that's cut out. The only thing that's left here is the bottom of the door. I might get different doors for it eventually, because the only rust left on the body is in the doors, but I'm not sure yet on that. But so I've got some, I think this is 2-inch, like, I don't know, maybe 1/4 inch, maybe a little thicker. This is what I have. I don't know if it's gonna be thick enough, but we're gonna see if that'll work. So I'm gonna build square off of the frame and go right underneath the rocker here. And then I'm gonna use this. This is 1.5 inch, 120 wall DOM pipe for tubing. And I'm gonna be building some rock sliders that kind of come out and up along here. Probably come out like 3 inches. Not super far, but just a little bit to look cool. And it's gonna go back and then follow the section of the body there. So I've got this wire wheel that I'm gonna go and just go around the frame, get all that surface rust off of there so I can start welding. And then I've got this. I'm gonna see if this will work for taking paint off of this, and if not, I can use this or whatever else I have, a flap wheel or something. But so I'm gonna start by cleaning up the frame here and getting it ready to build some rock sliders on. So it's still got the leaf spring hangers here. Never took them off. I just cut the leaf spring with the plasma torch, but I'm gonna try to, it's just held on with these 4 rivets. I'm gonna try this just stepper bit I've got here and try drilling out these rivets, see if that works. I don't know where the center punches are, so I'm gonna try to do it without it, but if it doesn't work, go find a center punch or do something else. There's one of them. Just like that. So I'll come back when they're all drilled out. Alright, well, I got that bracket off. Instead of drilling them, see, I drilled the first one. I just ground the head off with a grinder with this, just a hard disc. So now I'm going to take this wire wheel to the frame, try to get a lot of that rust off of there so we can weld to it. I'll be wearing a dust mask and some good eye protection because it's going to be dusty and I don't want one of those flying off into my eye. So get to it. I got these pieces cut out, measured from the frame out to where I want it. So now I think I'm going to tack these onto the frame where they all, because the frame's marked, and then I'll hold this piece up to where I want it and tack that to it, and then make some measurements and break the tacks off and pull it off and build the back section that goes up right there. So I'm going to start by tacking these to the frame and go from there. So I got it pulled off the frame, got it all welded up here. I got the ends capped off, just like that. This piece is gonna go right there, and then that support's gonna go right between where those are getting welded together, and then it needs to be longer than this. But then there will be one more support out here, so we'll have a total of 6 supports, and then I'll start bending tube, putting it on the outside. I'm gonna get this back up onto the frame and start welding. Well, I'll get everything, all this stuff mocked up first, and then I'll completely weld it to the frame. It's not going to be able to unbolt or anything, but I don't think it'll matter too much. So I'm just going to weld it right to the frame. It's just tacked in there right now, so I still need to pull it off one more time to weld up the rest of this and get the back side of that and everything. But you see where that support is, right behind there, and then I'm going to make one more for back here, probably go about here, and then start bending tube. And I just got this. I have a nice bender over there in the corner, but dies for that are like $800. So I don't have, and this is a rock slider, like it doesn't have to be perfect. So I built this. It's just some 2-inch outer diameter, 1/4-inch wall tubing, like same stuff I use for my links. And then cut it in half, bent it around this, and kind of tacked it in a few spots. And this is a piece for a test bend, and it does pretty dang good. And that is actually a little bit over 90, and I'm not going to be doing anything over 45 on this, so this will do really well for that. And it just goes on the, you know, just like any other die would fit on there, so get to it. So I want this to be about 3 inches off of that. So that tucks back in there pretty well. I want the rock slider to be out here about, well, this is a rock slider too, but the tube part to be out to here-ish, about 3 inches. So I'm gonna try to get away with 5 inches. Might go more than that actually. I might go like 7 inches. So I can bend it out of 45 and then cut the end off at a whatever angle that needs to be, 45-degree angle to weld onto that. And I'm going to start, because I only have 4-foot sections, I'm going to start at the back, so that'll be one piece, and then up here somewhere there'll be a joint, and then it'll go to the front. I think that'll be better than doing this piece and having a joint right where the corner is. I want to do the corner in one piece. So I'm going to start from the back, work my way to the front. So I got it in here, and because of where this was, there's not much left here. So I decided to start at 8 inches. That'll give me plenty over here to cut. and then that'll still leave me with enough to continue. I think it'll make it to about here. So we'll just have to build from there forward with another piece. So yeah, I'll have to bend it at a 45, rotate it 90 degrees, measure out to there and bend it, whatever that is. So it's a little less than 45, so we'll see how that goes. Got it all bent up here. I messed up the first time, so I didn't record bending this one, but I'll get how I bent this when I do the other side. But this one, this one really would have worked. Everything looks good there, goes out there, but I bent it straight and I want it to kick up like this. So when you do that, since it's not bent right, it bulges out right where the bend is. Now on this one, when the bend is straight, those angle down, the ends angle down at 30 degrees. And when the rock slider is on there, it'll come up at a 30-degree angle and probably about 3 inches out, so it'll set like right up there somewhere. So now I just gotta hold this up there somehow. You can kind of see on this how it's gonna be. I just have to hold it up into place and get the ends cut at a weird angle. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet, but this is where I welded the two pieces together. Kind of just ground it down, and I'll put a support right there so that won't affect strength or anything. So, got the passenger side all finished. Got those supports in there. Just did 2 of them. Comes up at an angle, goes up. I really like how they turned out. I think it looks pretty good. Just like that. So over on this side, I got that part made up. The structure, I don't know what you call it. All of the pieces cut out, so I'm gonna get this part up onto the frame. And then I'm gonna show you how I did all the tube work. And then this side will be done. I just bought a winch plate. I can start building the winch bumper in the next video. And then, alright, so I got my piece of tube here. So I got 4 feet here, and it's welded together to another 2-foot section, so I got 6 feet of tube. First thing I'm going to do is measure from the ends 8 inches on both sides and bend them into a 45 degree. And once both ends are 45, I'll put it back in here and put my angle finder on it so they point down 30 degrees, and then I'll put the bend in for that.
Hot in here.
So I just go until the point of where it starts to feel snug. Then I have it written on here that 40 pumps will give it a 45 degree bend. So I usually like to do, I like to sit it down flat and then make sure you can see. And I'll do my 40 pumps. I'm at 2. Now, pick it back up. Relieve the pressure. Pull that out. There we go. We got a 45. So now I'm gonna flip it, do the same thing. Put that back in. And one thing you gotta look at as you're doing this, so you can see my 8-inch marks line up with the marks on the die. Then you gotta look down the piece and make sure that the other bend on that side is straight. If it's kicked off, they won't line up. So you gotta make sure that one. Come over here, you see it points straight down, so we're good to do the next bend. This is going to be another 40 pumps for a 45. Okay. Pick it back up. Let the pressure out. And there we go. 2 45s that are right in line with each other. Sits flat in the ground. So now I'm gonna hold it up to it and just eyeball a mark where the next bend needs to be. There we go. Got our mark where we need to bend it. So now, since this isn't going to be the top where we bend it, I'm going to put this mark all the way around the tube. Line up the marks, the center on the die. Get it in there so you can still rotate it. I'm going to take angle finder, set it on something level, zero it out. So then this is the part that you really got to pay attention to. So if you bend this, it's really easy to do it opposite. You have to bend it to the top to the bottom on this, because it's going to bend it down. It's going to bend the sides down. So this is going up there, kind of line it up and just do it opposite of what it's going to be on the truck. So that side needs to be down. Needs to go this way. Yeah. I'm going to put my angle finder onto the pipe right there. Okay. Now that we got that bent, it's like that, you can see. It'll sit on there. And the edges will go down 30-degree angle. So now I just gotta kind of hold. Alright, so now I'm gonna build the supports So I'm going to show you how to notch a tube without tubing notcher. So this only really works if, well, it'd work either way, but this will make two separate pieces, which is perfect because I need two supports on my slider. So I already measured, it needs to be 4 inches from the frame to the pipe. So I'm going to give myself an extra inch to cut an angle and an extra inch for the coping in it. So I'm going to give myself 6 inches to the center of the bend, and then the other side doesn't matter because you'll have all of this. You can cut it wherever. So if that one's 6 inches, you know, we'll cut it right there at 12, and then that'll give us our two 4-inch supports for the frame. So what I do is I'll take a drill and I'll drill a hole straight through the pipe, and then just drill a hole straight as you can. And you'll take your hole saw and the hole will guide it, the drill bit, so you want to drill the hole the same size as that. And then just take your hole saw, go all the way through. Whew. There you go. Jesus. And then just break it off once you get to the end. Perfect. Alright, so that's the both sides done. Both sides. So thanks for watching the video. Hopefully helped out. Hopefully it was somewhat enjoyable. And in the next, we'll be making a winch bumper. There's a little sneak peek at that. That'll be the next video. And then we still got to do shock mounts and rear bumper, and still a lot of work to do on this, but it is coming together pretty dang nice. and twist it to 30 degrees. That's what I did the other side too. 30 degrees right there. It's right in the mark we made. Start pumping. Get snug right there. So now, what I'm going to do is take my angle finder, put it on the bottom of this, zero it out, and put it onto this piece, which is 9 degrees. So this is a 9 degree bend right here. Or, sorry, 20 degree bend. Okay. So this is 0. That's a 20 degree bend. So what we need to do, okay, restart. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my angle finder, put it down here on the flat section of the rock slider, zero it out, set it onto here. So I can figure out what this bend is. And right here it is a 20 degree bend, 20.1, but basically 20. So, as I go through bending this, both sides are going to go down. So I can't just zero it out on this and bend it 20 degrees. Both sides are going to go down, so I'll have to bend it a little bit, zero it out on one side, and then go to the other side and go back and forth until I get to a 20 degree bend. So this one I'm actually going to bend it upright so I can keep checking. So I'm going to go probably do like 15, 20-ish. Probably like 15. Doesn't really matter too much. Just make sure you don't over bend it. So now in order to check what angle we have bent, I'm going to sit it. I'll do it on this side first so I can see. I'll set it right here, zero it out, and I'll put it over here. So right now we're at 17 degrees. So I'm going to go another 5. Now I gotta do it again. Set it here, zero it out, come over to this side, and 29. So it is overbent a little bit. That's okay because it's going to have some spring back. As you can see, I had quite a bit of spring back. And then I'll go check it again, zero it out, come over to this side, and it is at 25 degrees. So a little bit overbent, but that's all right. I'm going to put it up there and see, and if it's bent too much, I'm just going to put it in the press and straighten it out a little bit. So that's why you got to take your time and measure a lot, but it's not going to matter that it's overbent a little bit. It's just easier if you don't do that. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to eyeball it, and if it's a little bit off, I'll just go put it in the press until it looks good. So this is just to get to a roughly the right spot anyway. So, pull it out. That's bad. Tap the dial. way. And then, as you'll see, we bent it. And I actually bent it the complete wrong way. Fuck. Well, it'd fit if I bent it the right way. Dang. This is why I did the side off camera. It's hard to. Ooh, let's see. Huh.
I mean, I'd probably do the same with the